Out front live on Capitol Hill for tonight's State of the Union address. President Biden's speech will be watched very closely around the world, especially in places like Ukraine, where the crucial military aid bill is still stalled in Congress. And just take a look at this new video. In this video, what you see are Ukrainian drones striking a convoy of Russian military vehicles. Ukraine saying U.S. aid is crucial to keeping up each and every one of these small victories. Of course, we've also heard that they're so desperately low on ammo that they're literally only shooting smoke in some cases. Out front now, Democratic Congressman Khanna of California. He's on the Armed Services Committee and the advisory board of the Biden-Harris 2024 campaign. So, Congressman, he's going to talk about a lot of things tonight, but he's got to make a case to the Republican conference who's completely stalled this aid and an American public who, there's plenty of ambivalence about it.
Right.
How does he do that?
Erin, I think he talks about American values. I mean, we have always stood up for democracy, for freedom. Here you have Putin, Russia, invading Ukraine, killing civilians, and the war will not succeed for Ukraine if we don't provide aid. I mean, the ambassador of Estonia was in my office today, as were other Baltic ambassadors, pleading, saying we need this aid.
And they feel that, I mean, how tangible is it to them that they could be next? The real risk of this going bigger.
It's existential for them. And they're saying, you know, what he said to me, he said, we're putting 3% of our GDP into aiding Ukraine. We're doing more than our part. We're simply asking that the United States step up. And this is a risk to not just Ukraine, it's a risk to the Baltics. And they believe that Ukraine can defeat the Russians, that they're on the path to being able to win the war, but they need the aid.
So the top U.S. general overseeing Africa warned Congress today that Putin is determined to take over Central Africa, warning that several countries are at a tipping point of basically being captured by Russian influence. And we've seen that in places like Burkina Faso and across. You've seen it with arms deals. Obviously, that then solidifies Russia's control of a lot of base minerals that are required for the running of the U.S. economy. How worried are you about it?
I'm worried, and I'm particularly worried because we've lost out not just to potentially Russia, but to China. American interests in Africa have been compromised. What I don't understand is I grew up in the 1980s when Ronald Reagan was the strongest voice against the Soviet Union. Mitt Romney ran his whole race in 2012 warning about Russia. I just don't recognize the modern Republican Party. I think that's what President Biden ought to say tonight. He can just quote Republican after Republican.
Well, one of Mitt Romney's most famous moments in that was actually in the debate, right, when he was warning about Russia and Obama, what was it, bayonets or that whole moment. Okay. President Trump, the former President Trump, is essentially now the GOP nominee. He will formally clinch that next week, most likely. So the way that it goes is the party nominee traditionally, obviously, has access to classified briefings. This nominee is criminally charged with violating the rule of law on classified documents. So should tradition hold and he get these briefings as that court case winds its way through the system where we very well may not get a verdict even before Election Day or not?
Well, look, I'll let the courts speak to that. I don't think it's for politicians to be opining on a legal matter. Let this process play out. Let the court trial play out. Let the Supreme Court rule on these very complex issues. And I respect the Supreme Court's decision that says that he has to be on the ballot. I mean, that's why.
So does he get the briefings, that's a matter of tradition, though, not law, the classified briefings in the meantime?
I think we need to have the courts figure that out and, have the courts make a determination what he can be told as a Republican nominee without compromising national security. Obviously, what I do think should happen, though, is the trial should be moving forward. I don't think anyone should be allowed to just punt a criminal trial, because they're running for office.
All right, Congressman Khanna, thanks so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Beautiful set.
I know, right?
Inspiring.
And it's a real backdrop.
It's always an inspiring moment for the country.
It is, and it's great to be here to witness this American moment.